And if you can't make it this time, maybe we can get him next time. You know what I'm saying?
Probably got sick like I've been. I've had bronchitis for like 2 weeks already.
Wow. That's
So
terrible.
it's real bad over here.
Yo, there's some
Okay,
shit going on.
guys, we are live, everybody.
Why?
This is the Irish Podcast. Episode 13. I am the Titanfall Princess, and this is the Irish Podcast. But enough about me, the princess. Panel, introduce yourself and tell us the games you've been playing. We got 2 guests on tonight, okay? Well, one's been on before, but we got one special guest. We're going to let him go first. Carl, introduce yourself and tell us what you've been playing.
Carl, just been playing. Well, I've been mostly playing old stuff, man. Waiting for Kingdom Hearts and Resident Evil and stuff to come out. Right now, just getting back with some old stuff, playing some visual novels and just chilling. I've been sick, so I haven't really been doing too much.
Okay.
Kind of focus on hard games when you're sick, but I've been, just getting ready for Resident Evil 7 because that game just looks. Oh, I can't wait.
I can't wait for that one either.
And did you play the demo?
Yes.
The extended? Oh man, it's crazy. But yep, that's what I've been doing.
Okay. Next up, we got somebody who's been here before but couldn't make it for a while. Back again. We got Aaron Honor. Introduce yourself.
It's Alpha, but I'm Alpha. I'm glad to be back, and I've just been playing some Fallout, and some Minecraft. So yeah.
Okay, cool. All right. Next up, we got Rambo.
What's going on, guys? Sorry, I've had it muted so that way you couldn't hear my wife cooking in there. So, just actually, like, the only thing I've been playing lately, I've been going after the Platinum for Drive Club and God of War 3. But I can only, I played God of War 3 like so many times, so I can only play it for so long at a setting before I kind of get bored. And Drive Club, I can only drive down a track so much before I get bored as well. So I've been actually like kind of tossing back and forth between them and actually playing Titanfall 2. So
Very nice. Next up, we got HP North.
Hello. I haven't actually played anything this week because I've been really busy with school and stuff. So I've been very bored. And I mean really bored. So hopefully I get to play something tonight because it's the weekend tomorrow. So, yeah, that's all I have to say.
Okay. Last but not least, we got the sound effect guy, Puerto Rock. Introduce yourself.
Yeah, you know that sound. Everybody knows that sound. Hey, it's your boy Puerto Rock 77, host of the 60 Frames No Like podcast. Great to be here, Princess. Man, love being here. I look forward to every Friday night spending time with you and all the panel guest members. Hey, let's get it kicking. Oh, and shout out to my man Aaron right here because, I've been playing Fallout 4 also. I've been trying to get through my backlog. So I started with Fallout 4, and that game's amazing. So, I'm having a good time, getting ready for the rush of exclusives that the PlayStation 4 is pushing out. It's ridiculous. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, you all know this sound. Yeah. Let's get this popping.
Well, we're going to go on to the first subject. And people are going to get mad at me again, but I don't care. First topic of the night is the Xbox One sold 26 million consoles. And you have Uncle Phil's children on Twitter damage controlling about the low install base on Xbox One. Now, wait a minute. Now, I saw one article on XboxMad trying to soften the blow by saying soften the blow of Sony spanking Microsoft's ass right now. And I put in quotes so I wouldn't mess this up. Xbox One models outsold standard PlayStation 4 units in December. Now, first of all, we all know that Sony won December. I personally really don't care. I can care less about the sales and all that bullshit. But I don't like the damage controlling in the community when the facts are the motherfucking facts, period. What are your guys' thoughts? Who wants to go first on that one?
Well, I'll go, I guess.
Okay.
My thoughts on that. I see. I've never really cared about sales. I mean, I care about them to the point of like I like to follow the trends, you know, and see what's actually selling, what's not, you know, what's going around, you know, what's going on in the world. I guess that's about as far as I care about them. What I found though was that article. I actually commented on that article because it was just it was so juvenile. To the point, I mean, I understand like Aaron Greenberg or Phil Spencer damage controlling or, you know, PR spinning because they get paid to. I mean, that's their job. That's their company. But this guy like doesn't even work for Microsoft, doesn't even actually work for a publication that gets paid. He actually he does this on his own. And so he is he's actually like so far into this console war that he is actually willing to go out there and make pie charts and everything else in order to try to make Microsoft look good, which is ridiculous. And they want to like try to like negate the sales of the PS4 Pro in order to make Microsoft. Well, why are you negating anything? Like whenever the Scorpio comes out, I mean, it's not going to be Xbox One S sales versus Xbox Scorpio sales. It's going to be Xbox One. It's just one console. Regardless of how many SKUs are out there, I mean, it's just simply one console. That's the way it's looked. And so for them to do that was just kind of, it just shows how petty they are, like how far they will have to go in order to make themselves look better. But I'm not understanding what good does it do to look better in the United States when you, in the whole scheme of things, you're actually getting sold 2-to-1. It just makes no sense to me. It's like, what big deal? You won Oklahoma, like, yay, great.
I'm sorry.
Oh my
the way you
God.
said that.
It just, I don't know what their end goal is on it, but it just kind of looks pathetic on their end. And I mean, it just seems like to me, I think what Porter Rock said, I think he said it before, that now that the console wars are basically over, because there's no way they're going to catch up, that the situations, like the things that they're going to do are going to get a whole lot worse. And it just seems like it's starting early on in 2017 and moving on.
Yeah, let me throw my 2 cents in.
But wait, I have one question for you though. Before, like you, then I'll kick it right to you. You don't even have to answer it, but you can answer it with your part. Is when Sony released their numbers in the year-end sales, the year-end things, or whatever they did their little thing. They didn't list out any single number for the PS4 Pro, as far as how many it sold. My question is like if they were going to release numbers, wouldn't they release it to the investors like they did right there? So how did like all of a sudden Windows Central get the actual numbers for the PlayStation 4 Pro, but nobody else did?
No, I think they get it from NPD because NPD tracks that.
But the other guy like Z Huge EX whatever, he gets the NPD numbers and he didn't list out like individual console sales or whatever like that, like these numbers. He just listed out like which ones are the top sellings and stuff like that.
Yeah, so here's the thing. So let's say like a guy like Z Huge, right? He may have direct access to console sale numbers, but he has limits. He's only authorized to release what they allow him to. While Windows Central, they may know somebody that gets the numbers, and he could release it, but NPD won't know where that leak came from. You know what I mean? Okay. So like let's say for example you have access to NPD because you made a deal, but NPD tells you, hey Rambo, you know you're not allowed to break down Pro and PS4 Slim sales because those are private numbers that we sell. And you're like, all right, cool. But then when you talk to me and you be like, hey Porter Rock, we're gonna let you know that this is the numbers. I'll be all right, cool. So on my channel, I say the numbers, but NPD has nothing with me. You understand what I'm saying? And NPD's like, all right, who the fuck leaked the numbers? You know, it's gonna be by the time they figure that out, you know, it's too late. You know what I'm saying? So
okay.
It could be
would the NPDs actually have the number for the PS4 Pro sales? But even though Sony didn't release them to the public?
No, because you know how everything has UPC code.
Okay, so they're just tracking the UPC codes. Okay.
Yeah, they're tracking UPC, so they know exactly. You know, they know exactly what sells what.
Okay, fair enough.
Physically, yeah, that's how they know game sales because everything's tracked through UPC. They get the data directly from Walmart, Best Buy, and all the retails, vendors, and Amazon and stuff.
Okay, fair enough.
That's how a lot of people actually, even if you think of your foods, even that's how they keep track of what's going on in the store. Everything is UPCs now.
Yeah, that's a good track. But here's the point I'm talking about. Why they say something. So you know, for a while, the some of the Xbox fanboys, they didn't care about sales until the Xbox One started selling and started winning NPDs. You know, what they should have done, they should have kept their cool, but they went all in. They started having the fever of Xbox is going to make the comeback. It's going to take back North America. So they dived all in. So now we know NPD is important to them because they were bragging about it month after month after month. They honestly thought Xbox was going to win November and December. Well, guess what? It didn't happen. So now they look stupid.
Oops.
Now they're trying to damage control. That's all it is. That's the reason why they're doing these charts, because they can't simply just take the L and be like, oh shit, we were wrong, and then that's it. You know, they're just not going to simply bow down and take an L. You know what I'm saying? And that's pretty much it. It's too late to go back. NPDs matter because if it didn't, those 4 months Xbox One S were playing, you would have not said nothing. You would have been like, hey, it's cool that they won NPD, but it still don't matter because it's all about the games. It's whatever. But no, they were all in. They were saying Xbox One is not the best. It's going to take over. The comeback is here. Greatest comeback ever. And then it fell flat on their face come November, December because, you know, PS4 came back on the top again. And now they're scrambling thinking what the fuck went wrong, how this could happen. We had the 4K Blu-ray player. We had the Minecraft bundle, and they're coming up with all these excuses. That's why on Twitter, when you were going through that thing with Tim Dog, I was saying, yo, just keep it simple. PS4 outsold Xbox One. That's it. It doesn't matter what the gameplay was or what the playbook was. It doesn't matter. When you look at the numbers, one won NPD, the other one gets a participation trophy. And if, you know, and if the Xbox dudes want to hand out participation trophies, then that's fine. They could do that. But at the end of the day, whatever they want to say, it ends up the result. You know, other people telling me, you know, it's like, oh, they got 3 screws versus 2. And I'm like, listen, when you look at the PlayStation 4, it's just simply one that play, you know, a PS4 and a more powerful PS4. And that's really it. That's really what Sony's been selling, you know, over the holidays. It's really just a PS4 and the Pro is just a more powerful PS4. But for the Xbox One S, it's a gaming console. It's a Blu-ray player. They had a Minecraft bundle. Hell, the Call of Duty bundle that PlayStation usually gets didn't come out till late December. So November, we had no bundles other than Uncharted. Nothing. No third-party marketing deal. No Star Wars. Not even Call of Duty. And it still won NPD. You know what I'm saying? Microsoft should have won. Xbox should have won NPD just on the back of having Minecraft bundle and a 4K Blu-ray player. Something unique to different customers. Sony was just selling a gaming console. And guess what? I'm glad they won because that's what should matter. A gaming console. That's it. Just sell a gaming console.
I'm glad you said that.
Nothing more, nothing less.
I'm so glad you said that.
Just keep it simple. Sell a gaming console. And that's it, you know? And I'm glad the Slim, even without the optical out, was primarily the mover because it just shows people still, to this day, just want a simple gaming console at a cheap price. That's it. Everything else could go to hell. Just provide a cheap, affordable gaming console with games to play. And that's it. And the message has been done.
Yeah.
That's my 2 cents.
Okay. Carl, what do you think?
About all this?
Yeah, about, you know, basically, you know, people still damage controlling for numbers, you know, and stuff like that.
It's the thing that gets me up in the morning to go on Twitter is what it is. Here's what I laugh about, okay? Like they brag about if they win NPD, right? What about worldwide? Worldwide, we all know PlayStation just destroys it. There's just that's don't even talk about it. It's like I bring it with like when Dreyer, everybody knows here who Dreyer Smith is. I hope you know who he is because he's just oh my god, he's so bad. He was when they brag, like it's like Microsoft, you know, when they win the United States, but when PlayStation wins worldwide, it's like it seems that just only the United States and just certain parts of the world matter to them. Like when you bring up Japan or China or stuff like that, they don't care. Russia, they don't care. They just like to just talk about strictly the United States, which is silly. Now,
exactly.
Down to it, see, I have the Gears of War Xbox One S. I was looking forward to Scalebound, man. I really was. I'm so upset that it got canceled. I don't. It just bothers me. And then they're just damage controlling it, and it's hilarious. They needed that game.
We're going to get into that one later on.
Yeah, but anyway, what I was saying was, yeah, it's just stupid. Like they're damage controlling nothing. I know as Rambo was arguing with that guy too. I was dying because Tim Dog's just a character. I will give Microsoft this though. They got the best spin I've ever seen from any game company ever. Like their spin is amazing. I don't know how they do it. It's like they just spin it to where they're like, oh, okay, I understand, and it's not really a big deal, you know? See, that's what PlayStation's great about. Have you seen the games coming out for this system in the next 4 months?
It's
Hell
ridiculous.
yeah.
It's nuts. January alone, they got
You need
like
a second job to. You need a second job to buy those games.
Yeah.
it's ridiculous. And just February, it's crazy. January, March, it's got all these games. It's ridiculous. I don't know what that's why I got GameFly.
Yeah.
Without GameFly, I'd be screwed.
Yo, at first I was gonna, like around March or so, I was gonna get a 4K TV and Pro. But when I added up all the games I want to play, it costs almost as much as the TV and console that I'm trying to get. I'm like, I can't justify all that money.
If you're
It's one or the other. Buy a console and TV, but no games, or just buy games. And so I chose the games.
If you're wanting a 4K TV, you're going to need to do more than just games. I have a 4K TV. I have a Samsung KS. I got like one of the newer models, the 8500, like the one that Hard 8 has. It's a good TV. But if you're using it just strictly for games, I wouldn't know. I don't think you should, because I use mine for movies too. I don't use mine for games. But since all these games come out, I would just stick with the game stuff, because the 4K, it's just for people who like that stuff. It's not for you know.
Yeah, I'm just sticking with the games. I'm done with hardware.
But if you're like a movie buff like I am, because I love movies and stuff, then yeah, you should get one. But right now, nah, you really don't.
Okay.
So articles are trying to
left.
8K already, and I'm laughing at that too.
Yeah.
It's silly.
Well, we got 2 other people to hit on this subject. We don't want to leave them out.
Exactly.
Aaron, do you have anything to say on I know you should, about damage controlling?
Yeah, well, I don't like damage controlling at all. I think it's just stupid. I mean, they don't pay your bills, do they? Unless they Phil Spencer is paying crap to unless Phil is paying crap. Like I think Phil is paying crap now, honestly. Honestly. And for the NPD, it's no surprise because Xbox doesn't have games, and Sony does, so I'm not surprised at all. So that's all I have to say.
I was gonna say something.
Okay.
That's all I have.
Switch has a more diverse lineup than the Xbox One has, and it's not even out yet. I just noticed this. The Nintendo Switch. Yeah, I looked at their lineup for this year. They got more coming out for that when it comes to diversity than Xbox does.
Yep.
Okay, HP. What do you got to say about this? I know you got to have something to say.
Oh, here's the thing. I do have something to say, but I'm making a video on it, so I'm not going to say much. But what I will say is they're morons, and they honestly, I mean, I technically was kind of like them, where I just followed and didn't really know what I was talking about. But I mean,
No, you're
now
smart.
that now that I look back, it's like, what was I doing?
I remember
that was so
few times
stupid
on my old Twitter account about this.
Yeah. Okay. Well, we're gonna move on to the next subject because we got a couple more to go from here.
All right.
We're gonna move on now, which is something Porter Rock mentioned before we got on live. The other news is Dead Rising 4 flops. Now, I said it was going to flop, and I remember saying it before it even came out that Dead Rising as a series is not a game that will sell consoles. It's not going to sell consoles. Or that will it really make the big difference. No, guys, it didn't. And I said it before. People will give me shit for that. I even had one person on Twitter tell me, now listen to this shit, guys. Dead Rising 4 was a better game than The Last Guardian. Even though he doesn't own a PlayStation 4 and he's never played The Last Guardian.
Wow.
Exactly. He tried to argue that. Listen, I own both consoles. I have both games. Listen, I could say what I could say because I'm on both sides of the fence. Y'all people that only own one console need to shut your goddamn mouths when it comes to the other console and the games on it. Honestly. But anyway, with that said, I think Dead Rising 4 could have sold a little bit more if the marketing was better. Once again, they don't know how to market shit. But this is a game where, oh, here's another thing. This is a game, in order to get the ending, you have to pay for it by DLC. Huge mistake. What are your thoughts, guys, on Dead Rising 4? One of the biggest mistakes in gaming this gen. I know Porter Rock wants to say something. We're going to start with Porter Rock on this one.
What's up with about Dead Rising 4?
Yeah, you just hear what I just said?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, Dead Rising 4. And if you want to get the, first of all, how it's sold, basically, people are telling me it's better than The Last Guardian. Okay, and ending, you have to pay for DLC.
Oh yeah, I heard about that shit. But I'll say this:
Right,
I didn't think Dead Rising 4 was gonna sell good anyway, because I think after Dead Rising 3, some people liked it, but I didn't hear. It wasn't like ever since after Dead Rising 1, every game after Dead Rising 1 didn't get the same reception as the first one.
Exactly, I said the same thing.
Dead Rising 2, Dead Rising 3, it just wasn't. When Dead Rising 1 came out, that shit was huge, and that shit was like all a lot of people were talking about. And then they released 2, and then the DLC, and then they released Dead Rising 3, and it just wasn't get the reception. And then this year, when everybody was talking about the holiday games the holiday games, Dead Rising wasn't really a big discussion. It was mostly Forza and Gears. It was pretty much mostly Forza and Gears when you think about it. Because I know some people talked about Recore, but we all saw that in sell either. But Dead Rising wasn't part of a discussion. I don't think that franchise. I think the franchise is going on a downward slope than it is upward. You know what I mean? And I don't know why, because I haven't played 3 or 4. But I know one of the biggest criticism of 4 was, I think, lack of co-op on the single player or something like that. And and that turns off a lot of Xbox gamers off. Especially when the platform is mostly online multiplayer. So when they hear that they're taking away multiplayer features, that shit don't resonate well with Xbox.
Exactly. What do you think about the DLC to get the ending? What do you think about that?
Yeah, when I saw that, I was like, are people making this shit up? So I was like reading, more tweets, and I saw videos, and it pretty much is true. To get the real ending, you have to buy the fucker, and that shit's wild, man. That shit's bananas. That shit blows my mind, And I can't blame Microsoft on that. That's more of a Capcom thing.
Yes.
I'm like Capcom, like, what the fuck are you doing? You know what I'm saying? Like they're fucking.
Yeah, but Microsoft getting their ass for that. Microsoft should get their ass for that.
Yeah.
No, they should. They should and say, listen, you're putting a game on our console, but you're asking people to pay DLC. People don't want to do that, so we're not going to make the sales on the games for our console because of what you're doing. See, that's the problem. The people who sell the consoles, and you have developers developing for you, you need to get in their ass when it comes to stuff like that. Don't sit back on your laurels and say, oh, they're going to do the best thing for us. No problem. Let me stick my feet up. Let me have a drink. No, get in their ass when it comes to shit like that, because gamers don't want that.
Yeah, I'm going to be honest, though, just to play devil's advocate, that's like something I don't think a company would even notice. I don't think they play the game all the way to the end and then you realize, oh shit, this doesn't have a real ending. What are you doing? I think that's something even Sony wouldn't have caught. I think Capcom was slick. I think Capcom just played slick and nobody really knew, because that's something you don't catch. Like, you're gonna sell an ending? Like, who catches that?
As much as I don't want to, I'm gonna have to stand up for Microsoft on that one, because even at PC on PlayStation, on Microsoft or on Xbox, there's no way. They have so many games releasing that they would have to actually literally play through every single game from start to finish. And no,
I'm not saying that. I'm not
impossible.
Okay, but that's not what I'm saying. I'm not saying they should play from start to finish. I know that's impossible. But when they get a game from a developer, what they need to do is say, okay, now that they know the shit's going on, change it up and say, okay, do they have to pay for DLC? Is the ending there? People are complaining about that for games on a console. That's things they need to do with developers, even if, I'm not saying they can play every game. I'm not saying it's totally Microsoft's fault.
Yeah, I know,
but I'm not saying that.
I know, but I don't know where, because look at what Sony did with. Sony didn't do anything like this with Capcom as well with Street Fighter V and that crappy launch.
No.
So
this goes
Yeah, I know.
This goes for Sony and it goes
I just
for
don't think.
Microsoft.
I just don't
It
know if
goes
it's something
for
that they could actually control on that end.
Yeah, I don't think they could. No, I don't think they could. I think the only way they can stop it is if they tell them, "Hey, you're not allowed to release the game on our platform."
I mean, they would have to become like
Microsoft's
Nintendo.
definitely not in that position to deny exclusives or at least time exclusives.
Yeah,
no.
yeah.
They're stuck between a rock and a hard place.
I think it's just Capcom being shitty. I mean, Capcom is just known to be Capcom. So I mean, here lately, especially with the Street Fighter V launch and then this Dead Rising 4, I don't look at their next game as being something that everybody's going to run out and buy. Like, I mean, people are going to buy it, but it's not going to be like a big hit, you know?
Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah, Capcom's fucking up big time. They need to get their shit together.
I think Resident Evil 7 will do all right.
I hope so. It does. It does.
Really good.
I think Resident Evil kind of like holds a little bit more weight, I think, you know, than because of the Resident Evil franchise.
Yeah.
I'm really more referring to like their next type of game, like that's not going to be their like a well-known franchise, like say Resident Evil. If they screw up with Resident Evil's ending or anything like that, then I would almost bet that they would be done.
Good point.
I would think Sony should just buy them out or something. Take their IP because they got so many great IPs they could bring back. It's ridiculous.
They should, yeah. I mean, that would be nice if it ends up getting to that point. I would like to see them so that way somebody could actually control what Capcom releases and what they do.
That's why they do that exclusive crap because they don't have money, so they have to rely on Sony and Microsoft. That's why they had the exclusive thing with Street Fighter and the time thing with Dead Rising.
Here's the thing with buying developers, especially and some people don't realize it, especially when you talk about like Capcom or something. These developers or these studios or company were built to be multi-platform, companies. You know what I'm saying? And that's how they make the money, So like when people say, "Oh, how come Microsoft don't buy this studio, that studio?" It's because if you buy the studio, you change the studio from a multi-platform company to an exclusive company for your platform, and you may not generate the revenue because of how the company that you bought was built. It's like trying to buy EA and now you're going to make EA exclusively for your console. You're going to lose a lot of money because that's not how the structure of the company is. The structure is made to make games and put out as many platforms as you can. So companies like Capcom, Konami, EA, they're hard sell because they're structured to produce games and put out multiple platforms, and that's how you make your money. So to buy them and now try to change the landscape into just an exclusive console, you're gonna have to fire people. You're gonna have to do a lot of things.
Well, you'd have to lay off a ton of people.
The juice may not be worth the squeeze. To do that.
But they sell some of their IPs to some of the other studios that they don't touch. I mean, they got so many games Capcom have that they do not touch. Like they just sit there that they own. They could sell them and use that. They don't have to sell off their studio, but they could sell some of their IPs that they don't even touch.
That's a good point.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Konami, look at Castlevania. Look what they're not doing, and look what one of the creators of Castlevania did. He made a Kickstarter. He got over $5 million for it.
Oh yeah, you'll never see any Konami IPs because they're assholes.
Well, I'm not gonna talk about Mine Number 9 because that game was shit. But giving examples, they could sell a certain game they don't play. Like, oh hey, we got Mega Man. We're not gonna make another one of these. Let's just sell it to Sony or something.
Or Bionic Commando. The one they tried on the PS3 was a disaster. They should just sell that IP.
Exactly. Yeah. All they really have to do if they want to keep their company afloat. I mean, there's a lot of IPs, and I'm pretty sure Sony would not mind buying from Capcom or Konami if they were willing to sell them. I'm pretty sure Sony would be like, oh hell yeah, we'll take it. They'll do it if they wanted to, but Capcom's kind of bullheaded, so I don't think they will.
Aaron or HP, do you guys have anything to add about this Dead Rising?
Well, I've got something to say. Dead Rising 4 flopping is not a surprise because most of the Xbox fanboys only likes Gears and Halo and Forza. There's proof of that because old games flop. Oh, yeah, that's all I've got to say. Like, the Xbox fanbase only likes shooters.
A lot of them do. That's not a lie. A lot of them do. And to me, they're not actually like hardcore gamers. They're more casuals that like to play certain games, but they call themselves hardcore.
And Quantum Break, like it or not, like it at least deserved another a chance to people. You know what I mean?
Well, If they do it better than what they did last time, yeah, give it another chance.
No, like it deserved to get
All right,
ported.
I'm not. Yeah, yeah. If you could change it up some or whatever, yeah. I don't deny anybody play. If you could fix stuff that is wrong or things that were messed up or things that weren't right and listen to your fan base, by all means, give it a second chance. But you got to come back
Yeah.
strong. You got to come back
And,
strong.
Capcom should have just like it's gonna sell better on the PS4. We all know that. So that's just my opinion on it.
Okay, HP.
The fact that I saw a screenshot of Dead Rising 1, I believe it was,
Mhm.
and then a screenshot of Dead Rising 4 compared next to side. The fact Dead Rising 1 had more detail in the sense of things you can pick up and things you can smash, which it honestly should be the other way around. It also has DLC for the ending or something like that, which that's just ridiculous. You have these people saying go out and buy this game, but there's like 3 people who will actually follow that, while the rest are just sitting there playing like Call of Duty, Grand Theft Auto. And what you have to realize is that Xbox isn't really, a primary console. To some it is, but to very few. So the problem is that it's just they're not. No, I don't know anybody in a casual gamer in a sense that owns an Xbox that wanted Dead Rising 4. Nobody asked for it, so I don't know why, they got it. Now, and very few people asked for it. So if they're surprised by the low sales, why are you surprised? Nobody technically asked for it, and it's not really sad, but it's upsetting because I don't like how Xbox, you have these fanboys that say, oh, Microsoft listens to us, and in things they do listen. All right. In things they've listened better than Sony or anyone has. But when it comes to games, Microsoft does not listen. They cancel games because they think it's right. It's the right choice. When honestly, Scalebound could have sold 2-3 million units. You won't know now. You can only guess. It's just upsetting, and the fact that people actually defend this. How can you do that? Like, how can you defend this game? How can you defend the sales? How can you defend Microsoft's choice? Now, I really don't remember the topic, so I'm guessing we're talking about Dead Rising 4 sales. When it comes to the PlayStation 4, I don't expect it to sell much there either. I think it will sell more, but I don't think it's going to sell too much more because I don't know anybody. I asked some friends around school, do you know about Dead Rising? They're like, what's that? So, I doubt any of these people are going to go out, especially at least the casuals. Now, maybe the hardcore people will, but that's not the majority of gamers.
Exactly. It's crazy. All right. Well, we're going to move on to the next one. You guys ready?
Nope. Let's do it.
All right. I like to be diverse, and I said I was bringing other things, okay? Now, the PC gaming market is becoming bigger. You all know that. John Petty Research reported that PC gaming hardware 30 billion sales. I think it's time for the gaming community to stop ignoring the presence of PC. It exists, guys, okay? I don't have a problem with it. If that's where you like to game, it's cool. And this is becoming a mainstream market, okay? And you'll have these PC exclusives coming out, like the one, what was it called? Conan Exiles. Now, I don't have a gaming rig, okay? I do have a laptop, and I may use it once in a while to play some of those old arcade games on it, or to play what was that game called? Red Orchestra. You know, every once in a while. But I have to say that the appeal of the PC gaming is getting better for a lot of people. Okay, and right now, it seems like that's going to be the best option for Xbox gaming. Because when it comes to you buying a console, you get nothing. Where do you guys see PC gaming going in 2017? Rambo, take it away.
I'll go last because my opinion is actually going to trigger a lot of people. So
Actually, y'all go ahead for a minute because my neighbor's like seems like I think he's sawing a damn car in half. That's what it sounds like.
Okay.
What the
All right.
Y'all go ahead.
All right.
I'll start off. I'll
Okay.
start off. So
Okay.
I'm not a PC gamer, but I think PC gamers has always been a relevant and an important platform. In fact, many developers, they lead on PC and then they port to consoles, whatever. But yeah, it's getting bigger. I think more people with the talk of power and performance. I think it's resonating more among the gaming community to where gamers who are only console gamers, they're moving on from consoles to PC. Not saying that console's dying, because you're always getting new console gamers. Every generation, new
Oh no,
console
of course
gamers
not.
are born.
Of course not.
But I think more gamers are moving over to PC simply because of they get to do what they want. You know, they get to do mods. There's more accessibility, more peripherals. You know, and I say the main thing, they get the power of what they want. If they're happy doing 720p 60 frames, then that's what they do. If they want to do 1080p 60, they'll do that. If they want 4K, they could do that. They could do pretty much what they want and how they want it, and not worry about when a company is going to release a console. Like, for example, you know, the Xbox community is hyping the Scorpio, but the Vega GPU that's coming out for PC within the next 6 months is 12 T-flops. So PC is already ahead of the Scorpio already before the damn thing even comes out. You see what I'm saying? But that's if you choose if you want to get it. If you want something that powerful, you know, and you got the money, pay for it. If you're happy just doing 1080p 60, then that's what you get, you know. So I see PC gaming growing, you know. It's for those who want it. It's for those who want a little bit more freedom on what they're doing. Granted, the challenge is you have to be a little bit more technical savvy, just a little bit, you know, you have to be more familiar with patches and stuff like that. Recognizing if some type of program or firmware is interfering with your game, that happens once in a while. But other than that, you know, I think the industry is growing. I will say it is. PC kicks consoles ass when it comes to digital sales. That's not even an opinion. Because like recently I bought Deus Ex, the physical copy, because Amazon was selling it for $15. But when I switched it on the Amazon app for a digital code so I could download it, the price jumped to $30. So I was forced to get it physically. So I don't care what anybody says. PC got digital, like the sales, they're doing it right. Consoles, we're doing it wrong. You know, Microsoft and Sony's not doing it the way Steam is doing it. You know,
Right.
PC's kicking ass when it comes to digital and how they sell digital games. They're fucking destroying console left and right.
All right, I'm gonna try to talk real quick while my neighbor's. I guess he's finally got to the maybe the tire or something. I don't know. I swear, like it's loud.
Yeah, I heard it.
When it comes to PC's just going to continue growing. I mean, the parts, especially with NPD releasing, is just. I mean, it's getting cheaper and cheaper to become to get to the high end portion of the PC. So I mean, it's just going to continue to grow more and more. Plus, I mean, almost everybody has a PC in their house. So I mean, really, all you need to do to turn it into a pretty good gaming rig is possibly just put a GPU into your system. So that's another good bonus for a lot of people is they don't really have to go out and buy a whole other product. They can just kind of add to what they already had.
True.
I was going to touch on what you were talking about, Porter Rock, the digital cells. The reason why that it's like that on PC versus console, and the reason why that console will never catch up until this happens, is that the attachment rate for digital cells on consoles is about 30% of the overall sales of the game. So, like, if a game sells 100,000 copies, 700,000 of them are most likely going to be physical. 300,000 are going to be digital. Whereas on what's it called on PC, you're going to see like probably like 98-1 or 98-2. So the digital is like a very competitive market. So they have to. That's like basically where most of their bread and butter is, where it comes from.
Can I rebuttal that real quick?
Yeah, go ahead.
I don't think it's that. I think it's because the digital source for games on console is the Sony store and Microsoft store. Like if you look at the price on Amazon for digital, it's based off what Sony and Microsoft sell. So pretty much imagine a world where if you're going to buy physical games, the only place that sells physical games is GameStop. At that point, there's no competition. You know, on PC,
you do have a point there.
On PC, you have multiple places to buy digital games, and you can link it to your Steam account. You don't have to buy the game directly from Steam. And you can buy it from you can get a CD key, or you could go to another store, and they're all various and different prices. So on PC, every digital store is like the physical version of Walmart versus GameStop versus Best Buy.
Yeah, but I mean,
that's
probably how come the console digital attachment rate is so low too, is because
you don't have that.
You don't have any competition in the digital sales.
Yeah, all digital prices is based off Sony's market and Microsoft market.
But
every store that offers a digital sale of a PS4 or Xbox One game, they match the price to what's on the store.
Right, but
it's never different.
Ubisoft actually controls like Ubisoft's digital prices on that store.
Oh, on PS4?
Yeah, because they were the ones going through talking about like they did a huge thing on the reasons why digital prices on the PSN store don't match up with the digital prices on the PC store. They did a whole one of their marketing people did a whole article on it, talking about like the attachment rates not there, like the acceptance rate of like people buying digital isn't there. So there's not a big enough incentive for Ubisoft to drop the prices as quickly on PSN as there is on the what's it called, on the PC. Okay. So I mean, I don't know how much of that's 100% true, but I mean, the way Ubisoft talked, it was like they were the ones controlled their own games as far as their prices. Kind of like that, the publisher is what controls GameStop's new prices or anything like that. I mean, they control the prices of the new games, so that might be the reason why you see some games at GameStop, the new ones like $30 and the actual used one $54. Because Ubisoft or whatever, the publisher decided to put a sale on.
Okay. Carl, Aaron, I know HP wants to go last. Carl, Aaron, you got anything to say? Anything about the PC?
I'll go first. The only game I like on PC, and I've seen people play it, is The Sims. I admire that game. Like, I may actually build a PC for that. So, like, that's the only game I like on PC. And I don't know really. Like, I have nothing really to say about it. So, yep.
Okay. HP or Carl. HP wanted to go last. Carl, you're up next.
Nothing really to say about it. Pretty much what Puerto Rock and Rambo said. It's going to keep growing. I mean, there's no question.
Okay.
I mean, nothing really to talk about.
All right, that's fair enough. Well, see, that's what's good about this podcast. If you have something to say, you could say it. If you don't, you just agree with other people. You're free to do that too. It's an open podcast. We agree to disagree or agree to agree or whatever. And that's what it is. That's why we have good cast on here, because we're not idiots. We don't fight with each other. HP, you're the last one to go. So people gonna get mad. What you got to spill out?
All right. So
what you got to say
before I start, I'd like to ask.
Oh boy!
Please do not interrupt me, because I'll probably lose my train of thought. So how I think of the future, and this kind of pans out into 2017 and far, far, far into the future. The obvious, which I don't believe will ever happen, is that PC will overtake console gaming. You know, how the PC people talk. So how I honestly think about it is that if anything is going to overtake each other, which I don't think will happen, it's not going to be PC. And I say that because we live in a world where mobile is becoming extremely powerful to the point where a lot of people don't need PCs anymore. And if you look at the numbers, PC slowly, and so, don't start writing in the chat saying, oh, what's your problem? Slowly, PC is declining. Less and less people are getting PCs. They're getting 2-in-1 laptops, and that are definitely not even close to handling a simple game like Minecraft. Some people are using their phones. Mobile is, in my prediction, at least, going to be the future. Not for gaming, but for PC use. So honestly, what I think is that console is definitely not going to last forever. Hardware is not going to last forever. I
Hey,
honestly
bite your tongue on that shit.
What?
Console's not gonna last forever. Bite your tongue. Bite your tongue.
Well, no. Here's the thing. I love my console.
I'm just
I love
with
my
you.
console, and nothing can ever replace it. The only thing that I do think will ever replace it is streaming games, and a lot of people are like, "That's not the future." Some people don't have internet. We're moving into a future that is going to be that. Technically, we're already still here. People said the same thing about cell phones. Oh, why are you getting a cell phone? No one's going to adapt to cell phones. Everyone has a cell phone. Hardly anyone has a landline anymore. So I honestly think that streaming is the future. The more it gets advanced, the slower speed connections you can have. But just PC gaming in general, I do think it's going to grow. Definitely will grow. But I think it's going to decline in the future. Now, I don't know, how much, PC and consoles, how much longer they have. But this is just my opinion into the future. I do think that if PC does have a future, it's just for gaming. Meanwhile, mobile will take over the office and things like that. But if anything does happen within the future, I see PC growing. I see consoles growing. But I do see, especially with NVIDIA's GeForce Now, which is a total ripoff, you don't need, and PlayStation Now, you don't need that fast streaming connections. Like for PS Now, I believe it's 5 megabytes per second, and most basic plans are 7. So you're covered there for streaming, at least. In the future, that's just going to continue to adapt and be more reasonable with prices and stuff. But getting back to my point of PC growth, I don't see it ever taking complete control over everything. I don't see consoles, but I do think consoles will outlive because they have more of a appeal because you can stick it in your backpack and you can go wherever you want. You can't travel with a PC unless you have like a car. You can't go on a plane with it unless you're taking like 2 pairs of clothes, or you just want to have a lot of luggage. But getting back to my point, I see PC's growth, but I also see PC generated $38 billion for the gaming industry, but that came from 4 free-to-play games. Then you look at consoles, and they generated $6.6 billion for the gaming industry, and that's not from 4 free-to-play games. That's from Call of Duty, Battlefield, FIFA, Grand Theft Auto, things. So obviously, I cannot see PC taking control. I cannot see.
We weren't talking about them taking control.
I know.
I think it's going in 2017.
This is a Terminator, dude.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I'm getting to my point there. Because of these 4 games, being what generated most of that money, I don't see much growth for PC gaming. I don't know if this is true or not, but there was a leak that or not a website that said that Steam has 14 million active users, which, I mean, the Xbox One has more than that, and that's kind of embarrassing. But
To see that article,
I'll send you a
That's
link.
good point.
because I kind of shit on that one.
I don't see much growth. I do see growth, and I do see growth in the console. I see growth in gaming in general, but those 4 games that most of the money came from, it's kind of depressing because they're free-to-play games. You know, I would think that like Civilization or you know, The Sims, you know, exclusive PC games would be up there. But in my opinion, it's just, I don't know. I am really disappointed that most of the money came from those 4 games. Like, I may, you know, most people don't care, but it's depressing.
Okay, can I just jump in here? Because I gotta save you, bud.
No, go ahead.
First of all, mobile. As far as gaming, mobile markets are always going to be the leader, just simply because, I mean, like in Great Britain, I think you had women alone there spent $400 million just on Candy Crush. So I mean,
God damn.
PC,
Are you for real?
Yeah, the mobile market. Jesus Christ.
No, I know the mobile market's big, but I didn't think it was that much money from female gamers playing that.
It's huge.
Oh shit.
But as far as like the PC goes, and I'm sorry guys if this thing's loud, I'm sorry.
And that's all right. It's all right. He's throwing his core in half again.
As far as PC goes, it's like growing exponentially. Like beyond what I don't know what HP is seeing, but if you're watching like the actual just PC sales, like an actual pre-built PC, of course those are going to decline because I mean you have literally 400, like almost every single person, I think it was like 98% of the world owns a PC already. So you're not going to see a ton of sales like going for a pre-built PC. But you have to look at the GPUs. GPU market has almost grown like 200% in the past year. And that's where you're seeing the gamers come from, the GPUs and stuff like that. That's what you're going to be having to look at for as far as PC growth. As far as the money, the amount of revenue made, that you do realize that the 14 million people that are whatever, however many people are on Steam, I still say it's a whole lot more than 14 million. But the people on Steam, they generate probably about 8 million, probably maybe more, just Steam games. The only thing is though is that those other 4 games that you talk about are so popular and so widely played that they like overshadow everything, because you're talking about like one game making like almost like maybe what 15 million I think in one, or 15 billion. I don't know. It's like League of Legends is like way out there as far as how much money it makes. So that, I mean, that's of course going to be what's being talked about, because those are the highest grossing. But the reason why is because like you look at every single one of those games have a tournament and have championships. Like that's the reason why. That's the reason why Call of Duty is so popular still, is like one of the number 1 franchises, even though they come out with like shit games. Like, you know, people would say it's a shit game or whatever, but it's still the top grossing, simply because of the fact that everybody's buying it to get into the championship. That's the reason why you have that lopsided thing for League of Legends and stuff, and the fact that people find it fun. But I mean, that's like saying that like mobile gaming is not really that important because Candy Crush made more money than whatever, you know, like Walking Dead season 1. Well, it's still gaming on that platform, and it's still making money regardless of if it's you know, the League of Legends or if it's Assassin's Creed. And if they're making 20, what is it? Would you say like 26 billion, or and then consoles made 7 billion? But if you're saying there's 14 million, I mean, if you look at this, if there's 14 million users on Steam, I mean, you can maybe rough that around to 20 million. And then they're still able to generate $26 billion versus 55 and 26, 75, like 75 million on console, and they're generating 6 billion. PC gaming is growing like exponentially. It's you might not see it like the way you want to see it, like what you're used to seeing like in console sales, but it's still there. Trust me. I mean, I see it every day. Like it's if you go to like CD Keys, if you go to G2A, and I mean the games that you're looking for, the big games like the Assassin's Creed, the the Dishonored games. There's a lot of times those things are sold out. Like they ran out of digital keys. That it's growing widely. You just don't see it the way you're used to seeing it. So therefore, it's hard for you to understand like the sales. But Steam doesn't have to put out numbers like PlayStation and the NPDs and stuff like that. That only can track physical, and so that's the reason why maybe you're just like not seeing it the way it is. But as far as like mobile taking over PC, that will never happen. And the reason why is because you would you being able to, sure, mobile might become just as powerful as a 1080 Ti. The only problem is that the size of it, the functionality of it is they're more there for convenience rather than primary use. So I couldn't see like President Obama or President Trump or whatever now like trying to have a big conversation with or deal with like signing a document, sending back and forth between all these documents back and forth between Congress and that for review and looking at his BlackBerry. I couldn't see that being an actual thing versus actually sitting at his computer and looking over his computer. Even though his phone might be just as powerful to do it, the functionality portion of it would never equal the functionality of a PC. I don't know where you're thinking that like that mobiles would become the normal PC.
Well,
Let me chime in.
I didn't say that, and I don't know why people are thinking I said if anything will take it over, it will be streaming. I just said that PC in general for like the workspace, mobile will take that over, and the only thing PC will have left, and I mean in the far future, not 2017.
Yeah, but I mean it's still not going to happen because even if you went like 100 years into the future, there's still going to be PCs being sold and used because, like I said, I mean unless they make phones like gigantic size, the ability to actually use your phone as a primary tool for your business would be completely infeasible. Like I said, I mean, could you imagine like being a lawyer and having to draw up and deal with all your legal documents on a Samsung Galaxy S7? I mean, the size of that screen, being able to draw up and write your legal documents would be like completely infeasible. So I mean, there you go. You have, your PC for that, and then you have your phone is there for more of a convenience, like your mobile portion of it, like either a tablet or even that is there more for convenience to where if you're out and about and somebody sends you something, you can kind of flip through it, but you're not creating the actual documents and stuff like that because you're actually just flipping through it, trying to get proofread it real quick as best you can. But they're more there for convenience, and they'll always be more for convenience rather than the primary use. Hey, go ahead, Porter Rock.
All right, yeah. So I was just saying that. I was kind of heading towards that. I don't think mobile, unless you were trying to include tablets like Surface tablets, where it's a hybrid, where you can have a tablet and then you attach like a little small keyboard to it. But then in a way, that's kind of like a PC anyway.
Yeah.
Kind of think about it. It's just a funny way of saying it because you have laptops that also dub as tablets as well and stuff like that. But specifically talking about gaming. The real mark of gaming is the GPU cells. You can't use pre-built consoles because a lot of PC gamers, they build their own consoles piece by piece. So how do you track that?
That would be hard.
So most PC gamers, they do it pre-built. I mean, they build their own stuff. So you have to look at how the GPU market is doing. That's a telltale sign of how PC gaming market, because that's the core foundation of PC gaming is the GPU. I mean, also the CPU, but for the most part, the GPU is why everybody talks about and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And that's really, and all you gotta do is look at how AMD and NVIDIA is doing. And if they're successful, then that means gamers are buying their products, and that the PC market is fucking thriving and stuff like that.
Well,
stuff.
I know HP is actually. I mean, I kind of understand what he's saying. I think people may have taken a little bit of content because I know HP is trying to build his own.
Yeah,
Big.
that's,
He's in
he
a
threw
race
me
with
back
somebody else.
whenever he threw me
Yeah,
back
so-
whenever he was saying what he
Now,
was
here's my
saying.
thing with streaming. Streaming, I don't think is gonna catch on at all like that. And I'm gonna tell you a couple of reasons. Here's the significant. I understand what you're saying, but you ain't looking at the obstacles that streaming has. The number one obstacle that streaming has is pretty much bandwidth caps. All these companies are trying to limit bandwidth caps on all our products little by little. You know what I'm saying? That's what we're trying to do. So that's number one. Number two, with a console or even on PC, if the network is down, I could still play games, all by single player, but I could still play games. On a streaming service, if they're doing maintenance or something, I can't do anything with that platform. Nothing. I'm just completely stuck with nothing at all. Can't even play Fallout 4, which is not even a multiplayer game. It's a single player game. So why can't I play my game simply because of an online service being down? You know what I mean? So I don't think that will ever catch on. That will piss off a lot of gamers that they can't even play a single player game because of a maintenance update, or they're having or Lizard Squad shut down their servers and you can't even play a single player game, which has nothing to do with online. So I don't think that streaming thing will ever catch on. I think that's gonna turn off a lot of gamers. Look at PS Now. Not a lot of people are catching up on that.
Yeah, I don't think streaming. I mean, if it's going to catch on, it's going to catch on after the networks and stuff like that around the world become a whole lot stronger and more reliable.
Imagine trying to stream Last of Us in Benghazi or Egypt. It's going to be.
It wouldn't happen.
I mean, like a 4K on I don't know. None of you guys are 4K. Do you, Rambo?
Yeah, I do.
You know, like streaming with 4K, for example, you have an idea how much they use from bandwidth? They only give me I think 300 or 400 here. In 3 hours, I use 40 or 50 of it from 4K.
Oh, that's how much you have for a month?
Yeah, I can increase it, but I don't watch much 4K content, so I really don't.
Oh, okay, because I have unlimited, but I have about 300, I think 380 down, and
I got 15 up and 6 down. I live in the middle of nowhere in Wisconsin, man.
Oh yeah, that sucks because I mean, if you're in the country or if you're in one of those the farming states, you're going to be screwed with it when it comes to speed. But I know whenever if I look at my service, and because we stream a lot in 4K on Netflix, and if I look at my service each month and show it see how much I'm using, it's an ungodly amount because of the fact of me streaming Netflix. So I could only imagine what it would be like for me streaming my video games and my video. That would be. I wouldn't even want they would. Companies would have to change their plans in order to accommodate for something like that.
It'll be a bandwidth cap.
Oh yeah, it would be. There would be everybody because companies would go out of business because they would be spending so much money trying to keep up their end of the deal.
What they would do to screw us over. Let's say Comcast or Time Warner, and they notice you're absorbing. Let's say if streaming does become the norm, I guarantee they'll be hey, here's your package, whatever. But if you want to stream games, you're gonna have to pay a separate fee.
Oh,
and I would be paying more.
Simply a large amount.
Yeah, I guarantee they'll implement some type of gamers package. Hey, we got a great deal for you gamers. Pay $200 and you get unlimited game streaming. And you'd be like, what the fuck?
Yeah, then not to mention the cost of the streaming service too. Yeah, that would I don't see that happening. I mean, I see it becoming an option, a good option for say PS Now type of thing. But as far as an actual mainstream thing, that's where we get our games from. I don't see that happening because I mean that you couldn't. I just don't. You couldn't. Games are not like a movie where basically you can use the same medium. It basically gets outputted on the same device everywhere, or the same capability device. Whereas streaming for video games, I mean, you're talking about it's not. I mean, I guess it would still be limited to your TV, but I don't know. I don't see that becoming a thing because of the fact of how much data costs. And like these people, these
Guys,
companies are not going to keep their servers running constantly for all these gamers and movie enthusiasts to be running 4K content.
Guys, you went crazy on this subject. I didn't think it was going to go that far. God damn.
Well, HP opened up
crazy.
HP opened up like a whole bunch of doors.
Yeah, he opened up some.
Yeah. Well, we're going to move on. Not that I don't want to talk about that.
Oh, go
We're going to
ahead.
move on because we got a couple more subjects.
Fuck
And
PC.
we're over an hour already, and I want to get all this shit in. Okay.
Yeah, go
Now,
ahead.
each week, you all know that the Irish podcast tries to get the most diverse group on this panel. You see it tonight. Okay. But the one group we have yet to get is someone who can speak for the Nintendo perspective. Even though I have Nintendo consoles, I do.
What do you mean by
Y'all seen it
perspective?
from a Nintendo perspective, people who are strictly Nintendo. Okay? I can't really speak from their angles. I can only speak from mine. And I really, I can only say what makes sense to me as a consumer. That Nintendo should be doing as a company to please their fans. Okay? I can only do it from my perspective. I just think it sucks that Nintendo fans, for the most part, they seem scared on YouTube. Okay? The Switch was revealed and very few of them spoke on it. Okay? They really didn't. Now, we're learning that Nintendo Switch won't have services like Netflix or Hulu. We're also learning that Nintendo programs that everybody gets money. We're learning that Nintendo still hasn't cut any deals with EA. We heard nothing about Titanfall 2 or Battlefield 1. Okay? And there are some setbacks. So my question to the panel is, first of all, if any Nintendo persons listen, contact me. I want you here to talk about your perspective on the Switch and what Nintendo's doing, okay? But for the panel, Nintendo, okay? For the people on the panel, how successful do you think the console is going to be, even though it's lacking some features, okay? It's got the games, it's lacking some features. And do you see the Switch selling a lot of consoles this year? Who wants to start off?
I'll go because I'll just be real quick with it. When it comes to like the features, gamers don't care about the features. I mean, sure you hear people on YouTube and stuff like that. Oh, that's trash. I'm not buying it. I don't have Netflix. And at this point in time, at this point in time in your life, you've got something in your house that you watch Netflix on. It's not like you're going to like all of a sudden, oh, I bought a Nintendo console. That's what I'm going to buy. I'm going to watch my Netflix. So that should be like a mute point there. As far as it being successful, that's really dependent upon Nintendo because like they only like put out like a 2 million lot for their launch.
Yeah,
and it's already sold out. Like I mean, all the reserves are actually taken already. But if they continue to do that, like to where they put only put out a number at a time, then they're going to only kill themselves because eventually people are just going to get tired of going to the store and being told I can't get one. So I think if they can actually fix that for maybe their second round to where they have like an open purchase at that point, I think that they have a really good chance of actually getting some of the people from like the 3DS to actually maybe buy a console. And then also like I think it's going to be more successful than the Wii U. I think. I to go like higher than that. I don't know exactly where, but I think somebody's actually predicting that it's going to sell 40 million by 2020, and I'm not sure if it's going to get to that point. But I mean, it could, but I mean, I wouldn't. I don't see it happening.
It won't do it because Nintendo.
Well, what do you think about what do you guys think? Also, Rambo, real quick, before everybody else gets in there and says their piece, because everybody's gonna have a chance. Why don't Nintendo people? I mean, the Switch did their reveal. They're not even talking about it. They're not hyping it. They're not trying to get other people involved. Why do you think that is?
Well, I mean, they're far and few between. So there's not like a whole bunch of Nintendo only channels, and so the ones that are there do have ties with some of the people on the other side of the community, like the Sony and the Microsoft side. And I've noticed like well, a few of them are actually kind of getting like I guess jumped. Not really. I don't want to say jumped, but they're getting like a bunch of the people from the Sony and Microsoft side going at him, like going, it's that console's trash. It can't do 720p. It's playing a PS3 port. They're going at it. So I mean, they're kind of like ruining their fun for them as well. So
that's what it is. They're being attacked. So
Yeah.
And they're almost scared to speak out.
I try so hard to get Nintendo centric,
Exactly.
YouTubers.
Porter Rock said the same thing.
They're getting
We
attacked.
said you're not going to be attacked on our podcast for speaking what you feel. Both Porter Rock and I have been trying to get Nintendo people on both of our podcasts.
I mean,
They're not going to be attacked.
If you pay attention to Twitter, a lot of people are asking like for Nintendo people to come on their podcast. A lot of bigger YouTubers, like I say bigger than us.
Okay.
And the reason they're not asking them to come onto their podcast in order to like hear from them. They're getting them on there so that way they can kind of make fun of them or make fun of the Switch. Yeah. So the likelihood of them actually like accepting an invitation to a podcast right now is kind of probably slim because of the fact of they don't know what the intention actually is.
Yeah.
And they don't have the size of a I guess a YouTube community like the PlayStation and the Xbox side do, to where they can have like have some kind of like friends with them. They're very small right now. So I think they're just kind of like shying away from the fact of speaking about it because every time they do, like their videos get like a ton of hate.
Well, I'm going to put it out there tonight, and then I'm going to let Porter Rock say something because he'll agree. When it comes to the Irish Titanfall Princess and Porter Rock, you will never be made fun of on either of our podcasts. You are more than welcome to come and speak your mind. We ain't no fanboy. We have diverse shit going on. We want you here, and the people that we have on our podcast will never make fun of y'all. Hit us up. Let us know you want to come. Join us next week. Porter Rock, you take it away from there.
Yeah, let me tell you something. There's one thing I hate. Well, I'm not gonna use the word hate. So this podcast I don't like that are circle jerks. I don't, whether it's a Sony podcast, a PlayStation podcast, or Xbox podcast. I don't like podcasts where it's all the same group and they try to figure out what to do on the other product. Like for example, I'll be devil's advocate. Let's say it's an all PlayStation podcast with nothing PlayStation dudes, and then they ask each other, what's there to do on the Xbox? Well, obviously, you guys are not going to answer the question because you've got no Xbox representation. And vice versa. If you got a podcast with nothing but Xbox dudes bashing a PlayStation, and one of them asks the other panels, hey, what do you even do on a PS4? Well, obviously, they're not going to answer the question because you're all pro Xbox, anti-PlayStation. So like Princess and my podcast, we always try to find a balance. If someone's going to speak on a product, it's good to have proper representation. So that way, when we ask those questions, we have the right people that play on the console, that play on the platform. I'm not going to have a podcast where we talk about PC and what do we do on it if I don't have PC gamers on it. They're the perfect people to talk about it. They're the perfect people to provide their info and that we all learn, because I can't give you the answers on everything, and neither can Prince or any of us. I can't tell you everything about PC gaming. I only know a little bit, but Rambo can, and maybe I could get another PC gamer, That's why I didn't spend too much time on the Nintendo topic because, we didn't have proper representation, so same thing, if you're a Nintendo YouTuber or you're an upcoming YouTuber and you want to talk about Nintendo, you want to spread your wings and spread your word, spread your gospel, you know what I'm saying? Hit Princess up, hit up on the podcast, hit me up. I'll be honest, I would love to have a permanent Nintendo resident on the podcast, to provide that perspective. Because not only that, I would like a pro Nintendo dude and their views on how they look at the PS4 and the Xbox One, how they perceive it to be. You know what I'm saying? So it's just different opinions, and that's what our podcast is about. It's different opinions. Me and Princess are not here to try to compel people to think like us. That's not what we try to do. We want people to state their opinions and for the audience to listen to it and just have conversations. At the end of the day, worst comes to worst, we end every podcast with an agree to disagree, and that's perfectly fine. You know what I'm saying? Because we just having good conversation. That's all.
Like that. These people. That's why I wanted even PC people on here, I want to send people on, because it's maybe something that I don't know about that they could educate me further on.
Yeah.
Important. It's about educating each person on the other consoles or other platforms that they play on. Give everybody a perspective. Now, we haven't heard from Carl on this one. Carl, what do you think?
About getting Nintendo people on your podcast?
Yeah.
Well,
Or what do you think about Nintendo in general?
Well, one, it's a good idea, but two, it's going to be hard because I only know like
I know.
4 Nintendo guys, and even then,
So-
I think they would.
If you talk to them, you think they'd come on my podcast?
I
Or
can get-
Porter Rocks?
Blackbond knows who they are too because he has history with them. I think Proto Rock knows a few too because I know some Nintendo guys. Nintendo is actually my other preferred console besides PlayStation, but I'm not like a huge Nintendo guy because usually when Nintendo does something silly, I call them out on it. But I mean, even I'm getting hate for getting this Switch. I already got a feyour people who were messaging me the other day about getting one.
All right, well, what do you think? You know what? Since you get in the Switch, and that's your second console.
Day one.
Carl, give us your perspective. Give us your perspective on Nintendo and the Switch. What you think is good about it? If you have any issues with what's coming out, tell us about it.
Well, my main thing that I don't like about it is the fact that you have to use your phone for voice chat. I don't like that. I would like to use it in game, like how PlayStation does. But the thing I like about Nintendo is their games. They've got good first party games. You know, like Zelda. And like I love their first party games. Nintendo was the first console I ever owned. I grew up with Nintendo. You know.
A lot of people did.
Yeah, and I don't want to.
And they forget it.
They don't. But the problem with them is they keep doing this with like the limited stock stuff. Like with NES Classic, you have no idea how much of a nightmare it is to get one of those.
Yeah.
It's hell. It really is. I mean, like when they sell them, they're like gone. And my store here only had like 6 available pre-orders for the Switch. That's it.
Wow.
6.
Wow.
And they're only releasing 2 million at launch, like Rambo said, it's true. That's a problem because what if Zelda's a really good game and like people want to play it? They can only probably get it on the Wii U, but you'd want to get it on the Switch because that's going to be the better version. You know
Exactly.
what I mean? But see,
Well, look, how long? I got a quick question for you, Carl. How long do you think they'll be able to get more out for especially around holiday time? I mean, I know they got a lot of games coming out when the Switch comes out, but you're talking that new Mario game, which looks fucking phenomenal, is coming out for the holiday. Are they going to have enough consoles available for people to get it, or are they going to have a package deal?
honestly, I really don't know. Nintendo may do what they do with the NES. When the store gets them, they get them, and when people it's first come first serve. Nintendo's always been doing it. They did it with the Wii as well. I remember when the Wii came out, it was very hard to get one of those too at the time. And they always do it. Even their Switch games, like even their the Joy-Con controllers, like even Amazon sold out of those. They're selling out of their own accessories.
Wow.
I went on to get a charge grip. Luckily, I went to GameStop. GameStop sold out of their charge grips. They're gone. They don't. Accessories are going to be first come first serve as well. It's not just their system. It's not just their games. It's their accessories as well.
Why did they only limit a certain
Because
number in the beginning?
They want to build up hype and demand for it, so more people could keep getting them. They always.
But my thing is that if you only limit yourself to 2 million, and all these people want it, if they gotta wait months for it, don't you think that some of these people may put in the back of their head, you know what, forget it, I gotta wait too long for this shit?
Yeah, they're creating. Well, it's like I said, they're creating an artificial demand.
Yeah, pretty much. Because the Wii was like that as well. And the Wii
Yeah,
I know, but shouldn't they learn from their mistakes, though? That's what I'm saying, Carl. Shouldn't they learn from their mistakes?
Yes, but you got to remember, it's Nintendo. They've been doing it since the beginning. They even did it. They did it with.
That's true. No, Carl's got a point. Carl's got a point.
I was on Twitter last night and I saw this. I don't know if Ramble's seen it or not because I think I retweeted it. There was an old Fox video.
Oh yeah, I saw that.
Before when it came out, stores sold out of that in 10 minutes. and they were doing the exact same thing then what they're doing now.
You have
Nintendo has
to-
always been doing it.
Nintendo has primarily has been for quite some time a toy company, and that's what toy companies do. Like you notice, like whenever there's a new biggest toy, like for the Christmas time, like everybody's running towards the toy section to get it for like on Black Friday because there's a limited supply. That's what toy companies do. Nintendo, like whenever they switched over to consoles, they never really got out of that mentality of being a toy company. So that they still treat their product like, even though it's I wish they would. But they're never going to. That's just their mentality.
Yeah, it's just
they may be able to blow shit out the water if they get out of that.
they could have sold it.
They don't even realize that.
They probably could have won NPDs with the NES minis alone, from what a lot of people are saying.
Oh yeah, but
Yeah.
now I mean it's going to eventually get to, once they actually release they'll eventually get like the Wii U, like whenever they release a bunch of the Nintendo minis the next time, they're just going to sit on store shelves because people are just going to be like, yeah, whatever. And that's what happened with the Wii U, is they keep creating this false sense of demand. So they'll get 2 million and you'll see a bunch of people like saying, I need more pre-orders. So they'll release it thinking, okay, well, we'll do another 2 million. And then like that, then eventually they're going to get to a point where like they just, okay, we're going to do another 2 million. And the 2 million just sit, because the people that have been waiting for like 3 or 4 months to get these, they're not even messing. Yeah, they're not messing with it anymore, because they've done purchased possibly a PS4 or something like that. So I mean, it's shooting themselves in the foot, but I mean, they're never going to get out of that, I don't think.
They have to. And you know what? As people that grow up with Nintendo, we all need to have a voice. I don't know if they'll listen, but maybe we should have a voice and say, hey, Nintendo, you've been doing this for how long now? We all grew up with your asses.
You have to remember, though, Nintendo is a deeply, even more so than Sony, heavily rooted Japanese company.
I know it is. No,
I know it. And whenever they have their mindset, like they're set.
Yeah.
Like, you're not changing it.
Yeah.
Even the guy that made Zelda, he said, like, even on the Tonight Show or whatever, he basically he said, or I don't know, he translated it to whatever, but to the point to where he doesn't make games for you. He makes games that he thinks is fun. Like he's not thinking about the consumer. He's thinking about himself. Is it fun for me? If it is, I'm going to release it.
Oh, wow.
I mean, they have a different mindset than what we do as like Americans.
No,
so, I mean,
you're right.
You're
right. Yeah, you're right. You're 100% right on that. Let's see if we hear from anybody else here. Aaron, you have anything to say on the Switch?
Well, I've got nothing much really. Just I'm expected to see a lot of Telltale stuff on it.
Okay.
And the new
Are
Mario
you going to
game,
get one?
of course, like I'm a big Telltale fan, so
Okay. Nice.
I'm expecting them to support it. Just saying the new Mario game looks amazing. I'm gonna get the Switch for
Oh,
that.
that Mario game looks great. Yes, that Mario game looks great.
And,
Bring it
like,
to New York City.
yeah, like it looks fun, but people say they want third party. Like I don't. I'm just gonna play exclusives on it, not third parties. I'll play some there, but
Okay. All right, so you're going to get it. Cool. Another supporter. Nice. HP. We know HP wants one.
Yeah, I really do.
yeah.
You there? And he's telling his big sister to buy him one. He said, you find one by you and get me one.
I mean, I just want it for the portability because I travel a lot, so it's convenient to have, especially since I travel for long periods of time. I just hope that the battery life with most of the games, it's not too bad, because having to continuously like plug that in, it's kind of gets annoying.
Adapters on Amazon, you can plug them into your monitor while you're playing.
Well, no, I mean see, my car has like an actual like plug, so I don't have to have an adapter. But just how, because my car isn't exactly like free when I'm in it. When I'm traveling for a long time, it's like pretty much packed. So it's not.
Tell me you got all the animals you got going with you in the car.
Yeah, like I have like 3 animals next to me. It's not really easy to like move around to keep plugging it in. But I do want one, and I can't find anyone to pre-order, and it really makes me mad.
See, that's what we're talking about. It's hard that they could not have limited it to 2 million, or whatever they limited to. You can't do that. You can't do that with a console.
I don't really like the accessory prices.
That's what I was gonna bring up too. That's what's also making people upset is the accessory prices. I'm not gonna lie, they are kind of ridiculous.
Yes.
Well, my only problem with the accessory things is the charge thing, the Joy-Con. Yeah, that thing. The only way to charge those Joy-Cons is it for to be connected to the like system itself in portable mode. So if somebody is using this for just a TV, that's going to be hard for them, and they're going to be forced to either not play or play it in mobile when they just want to play on the TV, or they're going to have to fork over the money for the charging thing.
Well, they last 20 hours on a full charge, so unless you're going to be traveling for 20 hours.
Well, see, that's the thing. Like, that's the good. Now, if the battery life for the controllers, like, did they say how much the Pro controller would be?
Yeah.
Like, not like the battery life.
About 40 hours, yeah.
And does that is that like a USB? Like, what is that?
I think Pro controller's wireless.
Well, I mean, charging. Like, is it batteries? How do you charge the Pro controller?
You just charge it.
I have no idea. Like if it's internal batteries or removable batteries, I think. It's
how
is it on the Wii U?
It's rechargeable. I think it's rechargeable as well.
It's rechargeable like the PlayStation controller.
Yeah, I think it's just USB.
You plug it into the system.
So, like, if I'm using tabletop mode and I have to charge it, I can just plug it into
I just saw a freaking article about this too before I even started this.
I wouldn't plug it into the console simply. I mean, if you're in tabletop mode, because I mean that's going to even suck more battery. That's going to suck more battery life out of the.
Well, no, I'm just saying if worst comes to worst, like my controller's about to die, I'm in tabletop mode, and like I have enough battery to charge it. Like I would never do that, but if something happened, like, is that possible?
I don't know. I don't know if there's an actual USB port on the actual Switch itself. Yeah, on the tablet itself. But I mean,
about the Pro controller, or are you talking about the Joy-Cons?
No, you're talking about the Pro controller.
Okay.
Which is extremely overpriced.
I don't think the tablet will charge the Pro controller.
No, I know the system does though, like the docking thing when you plug.
Yeah.
It in. But you got to remember that thing lasts about 40 hours fully charged. So I mean, if you're going to be gone,
I'm sorry. I think if you're in tabletop mode, chances are you're not in your house because you will be playing on the TV. So if you're in tabletop mode, it's because you're away from your house, and I don't think you'll be walking around with your Pro controller. You'll use the Joy-Cons.
Out of all the items, the one you should worry about is the tablet. That is the one that lasts between 2.5 and 6 hours, depending on the game. So 99% of the people getting the Switch are going to be playing Zelda as their main game. So it's going to last like 3 hours. So you're going to need, so if you're in a car, you're going to need to buy one of those adapters that you can plug into your car to keep it charging while you're there, like on the road. That is what you're going to need to worry about most. The Joy-Cons last about 20 hours, and the Pro charging lasts between 30 and 40.
Yeah.
So those are not your, it's the tablet. Yeah. Exactly. That.
Oh, okay. Problem. Well, you cleared that up because a lot of people talk about that. So that's an excellent clarification.
I follow everything Nintendo, so I know all this stuff. And since it's
that's why. But see, that's what I'm saying. I want people like you here, so that for those people who don't understand or misunderstand something, you can fix that and make them understand. Well, not make them, but give them better clarification of what's going on, so they understand. Say, no, wait a minute. You're downing a console because you said, 2 or 3 hours, but it's only for the tablet. It's not for this, that, and the other. You're giving clarification, which is what people need to hear. That's why I want a diverse podcast, because you're bringing shit to the table that makes sense. You're bringing the facts, and that's what we need on a real gaming podcast. We need facts. We don't need speculation. We don't need guessing. We need facts. That's why I want it diverse. So that's why, Carl, I'm definitely glad you're here tonight, because you cleared some stuff up for people with talking about that.
I've been following the Switch System review. I haven't been hyped this much for a console since the PlayStation 3.
Nice. Well, we're going to move on now, because we got one other subject and then one small one that I want to close with, which I normally don't do, but some shit was going on, so I'm just going to say my piece, and if you guys want to say something, you can. If you don't have to. But anyway, question of the night is, where are the Xbox exclusives? With Scalebound gone, in my opinion, the only diverse game in the Xbox lineup this year, they didn't make the cut. Okay? They cut it out. It's gone. Okay? Where are the games? And the games that you do think that Microsoft is working on right now, other than Crackdown and Sea of Thieves,
Cuphead.
because Halo Wars 2, well, I haven't heard nothing about it, and that was supposed to come out in 2016. It's 2017 right now. Okay? Because Halo Wars 2 is next month. But to be honest with you, that game ain't doing nothing for me right now. It's not. What are your guys' thoughts on Scalebound? Once again, real quickly, on what about it being canceled? Because I know a lot of people who, even PlayStation people or whatever, that bought to play Scalebound. Now they have an Xbox, no Scalebound. Okay, they didn't want the other games. They bought it exclusively for Scalebound. So those numbers that they sold, to me, were based on something false. Because you sold it based on Scalebound, and you talk up Scalebound so much, and then you canceled it. So you got console sales for a game, and you canceled the game. What are you guys' thoughts on that? And where are the exclusives? And please don't tell me let's wait for E3. Because everybody damage control people saying, E3 will tell us.
I got even better. Let's wait for Scorpio.
Oh god, no.
What was that, Carl?
Let's wait till Scorpio. How about that?
We might as well, because right now there ain't shit.
Well,
am I right or wrong, no, Carl?
No, you're not wrong. Actually, I was one of the people who actually bought an Xbox One solely for Scalebound, because I actually like the guy who's making it. I forgot his name, his long-ass name, but I like him. There you go. A good guy. I just want to know why they did. Like, there has to be a reasoning behind it, because I see the guy from Platinum Games tweeting about it. Like, I saw right when it canceled, he was saying some snarky stuff about it. So there has to be something. He probably had issues with the game on Xbox One, and they were just pushing him to do it. I think that's why they can't. And he just wanted more time, and they wouldn't give it to him, so they made him cancel it.
Oh shit! See, that's messed up. Because let me tell you something. On that note, I'm gonna say something. Okay, only because people. I'm a multi-console owner. I get to talk whatever I want because I see both sides. At least PlayStation don't cancel games most of the time. They'll delay them, but you still get them. They let their developers get the time and delay the game. They'll give them the time. Why is Microsoft canceling shit? I don't get it. Are you trying to sabotage your own console? Honestly.
Here's my 2 cents on that.
All right, go ahead.
I don't think Microsoft has the people that understands of what it takes to make a console at its most competitive. To make it the most competitive product on the market. I don't think they fully understand what they have. You know what I'm saying? I don't think, and I'm not going to put it all on Phil Spencer, because just like anybody else, you got the head of a division, but you have people that advise you. You know what I'm saying? And then you take all their advice into consideration, and then you ultimately make the final decision. So you know how this gen, everybody kept beating Sony over the head about delaying games. Sony's always delaying games. But now we're seeing what Microsoft's going through. But instead of delaying games and eventually pushing out, they just outright canceling. So the issues Microsoft may be having is the same issue Sony's having, except both companies are approaching it different. Sony's approach is get the game out, and then if we have to close the studio, then we'll close it, or we'll just move on to the next project. But we're gonna get this game out because we need, if worst comes to worst, we need the content on our platform. And I said this before: there's a difference between a third party canceling a game and a first party canceling a game. If EA cancels a game, or if Capcom cancels a game, people just blame the company. But if a first party studio, whether it's Nintendo, Sony, or Microsoft, if they cancel a game, then it's the console that looks bad, not the developers. It's the console. As soon as Scalebound got canceled, everybody looked at Xbox console. You know what I'm saying? Like deep down, we don't know what happened to it, but no one's bashing the PS4 for not knowing anything about Deep Down because it's a Capcom game. You know, but Scalebound getting canceled, everybody's bashing the Xbox console, and everybody's wondering.
Okay, but why aren't? All right, I got a question for you, Puerto Rock. With what you're saying, quick question for you: why doesn't, when Xbox cancels a game, tell us why? Give us a reason why it's being canceled. Don't just cancel it and say, "Oh, I'm canceling it." Tell us why you're canceling. Is it because they're taking too long? They haven't gone far enough in development. They're costing us too much money. We're putting too much money into it, or whatever. Tell us the reasons why. They hide too much, and that's why they're blaming the console, in my opinion, because they don't tell us the truth.
Well, that's a two-part. There's a two-part answer to that.
Okay, good.
The two-part is Microsoft hasn't been very transparent this gen at all. With they haven't been transparent with game sales. Nope. They haven't been transparent with console sales. So they haven't been transparent with a lot of things. That's number one. Number two, I guess it's just reaction to the stocks, or to the shareholders and stuff. They can only be so.
What shows are they doing? They only do E3. Wait a minute, they only do E3.
No, I'm talking about
Microsoft is only doing E3.
I'm not talking about shows. I'm talking about they can only talk so much over the internet without impacting shareholder trust.
Oh, shareholder.
So yeah,
shareholder. I'm sorry.
So behind the scenes, they're probably giving shareholders the direct info, but they're able to spin it to where shareholders are like, okay, we get it. But if they try to pull that bullshit on the internet, internet, we have a bunch of detectives, so we'll blow up any bullshit you try to feed us. While a shareholder, they're just gonna take the information they get in the meeting and then just move on. So Phil Spencer could spin it to a shareholder. Well, gentlemen, as you can see, by the time this game comes out, we probably project losing $3.5 million, but this game's only projected to make 1.8. So in the end, it's better for us to cancel it to save revenue. And the shareholders will be like, you know what? Okay, cool. But if you do that to gamers, they'll fucking eat Microsoft alive if they try to pull that bullshit on us. Because then, gamers will be like, well, I was going to get it. And then the internet will show Scalebound would have sold 2 million copies. And then if the shareholders see that, and they'll be like, wait a minute, Phil, you told us this game wasn't going to sell, but looking at fan reaction, this game would have sold 3 million. So they're going to hold off on information to prevent themselves from looking bad among the shareholders. And
maybe the shareholders actually need to get on the internet and on YouTube and on Twitter where people bought, like Carl just said, he bought one for Scalebound. Maybe they should get on there and say, wait a minute, I've been on Twitter, I've been on YouTube, I've been on Facebook, and I'm hearing that people are buying your console just for Scalebound. You canceled it. Oh. You're telling us you can't do it because it ain't going to sell.
Let's be honest. The shareholders, to be honest, I don't think Xbox,
I know they're rich. They don't care.
Well, not just that. I don't think, not just that they're rich, but I don't think Xbox is even the top 5 priorities for the company at this point. I don't think it's even top 5. I think their cloud services. So like, what is it, a year and a half ago, 2 years ago, when Phil Spencer said that Sony could use cloud services, saying it's not exclusive to Xbox, so anybody could enjoy it. I knew at that point Xbox was not the #1 priority. I knew at that point, because if it was, there's no way.
Well, first of all, Phil can't even say that because he's not in charge of the cloud.
I know.
That's a separate division.
So that's what I'm saying. So the cloud, whoever runs the division for cloud services, they don't give a shit about Xbox or making Xbox look good. They give a shit about their own shit. And if Sony wants to use cloud service, cloud power,
they don't have a job.
That's what I'm saying. So I don't think Xbox is the number one priority.
No.
For the company, I think Surface, obviously Windows OS, the IT services, the cloud computing. Hell, the phone business probably would have been more if it wasn't failing. Their mobile business would probably be a higher priority than Xbox at this point.
But Porter Rock, one thing, and guys on the panel, one thing is all I'm saying is that the people who run the Xbox division, don't you want a job down the line? You should make Xbox your priority. Don't worry about what the cloud division's doing. Don't worry about what the phone division's doing. Don't worry about what they're doing with PCs, with Windows and all that shit. Don't worry about that shit. Worry about your division.
I think it's the checks. What I mean by priority is the check, because Natia, he's the one that gives the checks. So by Xbox not being the number one or like not even top 5 priority, they're not getting the funding that Surface tablet would get or Azure would get. Right. You know what I'm saying? Hey, cloud service division. Yeah, here's your check. Hey, Windows OS, here's your check. Hey, cloud services, here's your check. Oh, Xbox, I think I got some spare change. Hold on. Hold on. Hey, Phil, hold on. Give me a second. Phil, hold on. Trump's calling me. I'll get back to you later. We'll talk about budget. Yeah. I get it. You want to advertise? Yeah. Phil. No. Yeah. Don't worry. Yeah, it checks in the mail, buddy. Yeah. Don't worry about it. Yeah. And then he's probably, and Nadia's probably talking. We still got Xbox in this motherfucker. I thought we got rid of that shit. Didn't we go full PC? No. We still. In fact, we're releasing Scorpio. We're releasing what?
You crazy?
Scorpio. Who funded that shit?
Stop. Stop. My stomach hurts.
Nadia, you approved that 8 months ago. Fuck. All right. Bring Phil back. Hey, Phil. All right, Phil. How much you need? Fuck. All right. How about you get half? Okay. Just do half and do some Twitter. Hey, in fact, call that Mooch dude. He'll advertise our shit.
Oh my God, no!
Make him do it. Make Mooch and Crap advertise our shit.
Porter Rock, please.
Send them a custom controller or some shit. And there you go.
Tell them they're cloud exclusive this time.
You know what I'm saying? I don't think they got the budget. You know what I'm saying? I don't think that's their top priority. You know, that's just my feeling. Nadia's not giving the budget.
Yeah. You gotta stop. You're making my ribs hurt right now. Oh my god. Aaron, what do you got to say about it? You got anything to say about this?
Well, I wasn't interested in Skillbound, but I feel sorry for the people that actually bought an Xbox One for it. So, and I have a bad feeling about Crackdown. I can hear myself, but oh well. I don't think Crackdown 3 will be able to handle, will be able to run on the Xbox. I've got a strange feeling about that. And I'm just excited for State of Decay 2.
Okay.
I think if they make Crackdown 3, it's going to be exclusive to Scorpio.
I don't think hell no.
I couldn't
hear call.
Like all those instructions, when they're trying to advertise for Crackdown 3, I don't think it's going to run well on the Xbox One, so they're probably going to make it for the Scorpio and PC.
Can you turn up your mic a little bit because you're fading out?
What I was saying was, I think Crackdown 3 won't even. I think it'll just be an Xbox Scorpio because I don't think all those destructive environments are going to fly well on the Xbox One.
Okay.
I'll say this: the destructive environments is supposed to be pushed by the cloud services, but I will say I don't think any game is going to be exclusive to Scorpio simply because there's nobody. The fan base is too small. You're not going to deny 26 million gamers from getting a game for 500,000 people that buy it. You're not going to get the sales.
That's why I think they may probably cancel, like that Aaron guy said. They may probably just cancel it.
Cancel what?
Crackdown 3 because I hear it's not doing too well.
Oh my God!
That's true. Let's say if the game does come out, it's going to be on Xbox One because that's where the majority of Xbox One gamers is. If you make it exclusive to Scalebound, you're only going to get 200,000 sales from this game.
Wow.
That's all you're going to get because let's say if you get 100% of Scorpio sales, how many Scorpios going to sell in November? 250,000 maybe? So you only get 250,000 Crackdown sales. It would be disastrous. That would be disastrous. Yeah.
But wait. That's only if those 250,000
they all buy
the game.
Yeah, if they all decide to buy it. Yeah, that's That's assuming 100% of every Scorpio owner buys Crackdown. So they're not. Crackdown's going on the Xbox One. It's
HP,
not.
what do you think?
No game's gonna be exclusive on the Scorpio.
HP, any
What?
thoughts? Any thoughts? Don't say what up. What's your thoughts? You smart ass.
Wait, are we talking about Crackdown or Xbox games?
Crackdown.
We're talking about Xbox not having exclusives. You know, the only games that we hear coming out new, and basically how Scalebound was canceled.
Oh, okay.
And now people bought an Xbox just for Scalebound. If you don't have nothing to say, you don't have to say nothing. It's cool.
Well, I don't have much to say, but about the Scalebound thing, that's like, why would they do that? And the fact that they're like,
I don't know, because
they're removing everything. They're removing Scalebound videos. They're removing so much. You know, the thing is that the Xbox One S's box, like in the cover art in the back, has I believe. Maybe I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure it has Scalebound. So, I mean, for that to happen, they must have been pretty sure. This thing must have been really close to being finished.
Yeah. Okay. Rambo, you have any thoughts on that before we wrap up with the last thing? Because we're working on 2 hours, guys.
When it comes to the games, I mean, I think Porter Rock kind of nailed it on the head there with the funding. I think that Nazi Yellow, whatever the hell his name is, I think he has his hand in Xbox a lot more than what the other guy did. So I think that the funds are not as like widely there as much as they were back in.
So basically, Xbox is being limited to what they can do.
Yeah, I think that they're. I mean, they probably spent a ton of money on the Scorpio, and so that's maybe the reason why. I'm hoping I'm wrong. I'm hoping at E3, like, we get some like really big surprise that, like, say Rise 2 is coming this year. But that's just a stretch. But I just think it's because of the budget.
Okay. All right. Now, normally, this is the last thing. Normally, I don't discuss politics on this podcast or in anything. People get crazy. I think the two things, I stay away from mostly is religion and politics because people can't handle it. But unfortunately, whether you support him or not, Donald Trump is officially the president of the United States. I will say that even though I don't like the dude, I didn't support him, okay? One thing I'm going to say is I'm not going to go out and riot and burn shit up, okay? I wouldn't want America to just turn into one big war zone against each other, okay? Now, I saw some shit going down today where people are burning the American flag, okay? Now, listen. All I'm saying to the people that listen in the gaming community, if you don't want him as president, there's other ways to go about it. Please don't go out there and riot. Please don't burn the American flag. Okay? Embrace America. Embrace your family. Embrace your friends. Embrace the other Americans here. Write letters. Call your congressman. Call your state senates. Do whatever you have to do. Okay? Just don't destroy America over one man you don't like. It ain't worth it. We have a lot to offer this country. America, he's talking about making America great again. America is great because we got all of us. Just remember that, people. We got a melting pot. There's all of us. We can hold this country together by standing together without burning shit.
So
right. Please, people, don't burn.
When I was eating lunch today.
Don't burn another American flag because you're burning my heart. Okay? You're burning my heart and people who love this country. Now, I understand you may not like the direction he may be going, but don't let him take America out of you. Don't let him do that. Don't let him do that. If you have issues, talk to your governor, your statesman, your congressman. Everybody, you House of Representative people, there's a number to call. You get somebody on the line all the time. Send letters. Do whatever you got to do. Just don't be destructive, because you're only hurting America. And we are great. That's all I'm going to say. We are great by the people we got here. We're great because we're diverse, and that's what this country is, and we need to keep it that way. Bottom line, please, guys, love America, support America, and do what you got to do. I don't know if anybody else has anything to say on that, but I had to say that because that upset me.
I just have something. I don't know what that is. I just have to say something like real quick. I supported Trump. I feel that he's going to be a good addition to our country. I mean, we've tried everything else, any kind of career politician, and it's not got us anywhere. So I figured, why not give somebody else a try? That being said, I'm not judging anybody that is not for Trump. The only thing I ask from anybody, whether the next president is going to be Michelle Obama and nobody likes her, but instead of just taking NPDs clickbait videos and BuzzFeed clickbait articles and CNN's little snippets of what Donald Trump says in order to cut out a certain portion of it to make him look like he said something he didn't. Take the time, if you are going to actually not like this man, take the time to actually educate yourself on the whole reason that you don't like him. Don't link somebody if they actually have a question for you. Don't link it back to a CNN article or CNN video where they did snippets. Show me the full speech that he said or the full thing that he said, so that way we can actually have an honest discussion if we're going to discuss it. But inform yourself. That's the only way you're actually ever going to be able to make a difference in the country, whether it's going to be for or against the person that you are for or that you are talking about, is actually becoming informed and letting MTV tell you, letting BuzzFeed, letting CNN, letting Fox News, whatever, letting these news agencies tell you what they want you to hear. Remember, they're not telling you what happened. They're telling you what they think that they want you to hear. They get all the information, put it together, and then they give you what these little snippets, what they want, what they think is important. That's like saying I'm not buying a game because GameSpot said it was an 8 out of 10 or a 6 out of 10 or whatever. I'm not buying it because of that. Even though it's like your Red Dead Redemption 2, are you going to stop buying that just because GameStop or IGN gave it a 6 out of 10? Are you going to say nope, not buying it? No, you're not, because you know why? You're going to actually inform yourself and actually make an informed decision based on your cares and your worries. Actually do that the country sure as heck shouldn't be anything different than your gaming. It should actually be more important than your gaming. So to actually take the time to go out there and learn all you can about the reason why you either are liking or disliking a person in politics. That way, whenever you are actually asking for a difference to be made, you're not out here spouting what CNN told you. You're actually out here spouting what you've actually researched and found to be true. But don't go out there. You're never going to get anything done by burning and rioting and destroying your. I don't know what the fact of like destroying your own city is going to do. It actually just hurts you, because you know what? I mean, guess what? If they don't put money back into that city, guess what? Then you've lost a lot of income for that city, which actually hurts you even more. And you can't blame anybody but yourself on that. So quit doing the writing, quit doing the childish thing. If you are going to protest or do it, I'm all for protest. If you're going to do it from an informed standpoint.
Exactly. Anybody else want to say anything?
Me.
Okay, HP.
My family supports Trump. I support Trump. I'm not getting into reasons why I do, but
you don't have to. It's not about that. It's not about that.
He is your president. You can riot all you want. You can destroy the city all you want. That's not changing the fact that he is your president. You can scream, "He's not my president." He's your president, and you have to respect him. I did not like Obama. I don't like how he's raised the debt more than any other president. I'm not getting into that. But I still respected him, and no, I did not want him to die like some of these liberals are saying. I can't wait till he dies. Oh, the 25th president and the 35th president were assassinated. Maybe the 45th will be assassinated. No, you don't wish that on someone.
No, you don't wish death. You see, that's the other thing I like. You don't wish death on somebody. You know,
He was elected by the people. All right, he is legitimate because he won by our voting system. Our voting system does not go by popular vote. So he is legitimate. All right? He is. He's your president. He's everybody's president that's a citizen of the United States. Now, I get it. You know, you might be upset, but listen, if you support Obama and you don't like Trump, listen to Obama's advice. Run for office yourself if you do not like Trump. He is giving power back to the citizens. We have a voice. Now, whether he pulls through with that or not, we don't know. But if he does, we have a voice, and we can get rid of him if we do not like him. Just because you don't like him doesn't mean the majority of America doesn't. And you're saying, oh, well, Donald Trump's elected, so I'm leaving the country. You're not leaving the country. Just stop it. Honestly, stop it. All right, it's 4 years. If you really love this country the way you say you do, you can wait 4 years.
Stand up and fight. Or you'd stand up and fight.
And you can vote against him next election. Because a lot of people did not like Obama. And they wanted to leave, but they didn't because they love this country. And they waited 8 years to elect someone else. And they did. So just respect that. And please, stop destroying innocent people's properties. Because that's pointless. You can smash windows to Starbucks. That's not changing anything. That's just affecting innocent people's lives who may even voted for Hillary Clinton. So you don't know that. So why would
actually
you?
Somebody.
Why would you?
Why
Why would you destroy
you
it?
saying that? Why you saying that? HB? Somebody actually, one person, fatal stab wound because of this bullshit. An innocent person.
Look, I'm all for rioting as long as it's not violent or destructive. If it's peaceful,
that's what rioting is.
Good for you.
Rioting is.
I'm sorry, I mean protesting.
Protesting. Okay. Because protesting, you can protest, but you can do it in the right way. Rioting is actually destruction.
Yeah, I'm not
which
for
is what this
rioting.
Don't need.
Protesting, I'm for. You be peaceful about it. Because that's how the government responds. The government doesn't respond when you go destroy property. Right? The government just says, "What's your problem? Get out of here. We're going to arrest you." But when you're peaceful, you actually have a voice.
Thank you. That's what I've been saying. Stop doing this shit. What's wrong with y'all? There's one thing I gotta say before you continue, HP, is right. Because we actually have somebody who has put their neck on the line for this country in this podcast, who is a military man, and he don't need to be called out to do some crazy shit over this shit and put his life on the line once again in America. I could see he have to do it overseas, but he shouldn't have to do it in his own country, which is Puerto Rico. So I want hands up for fucking Puerto Rico.
He's controlling the thing.
It felt weird clapping myself.
Because that's
I don't know how to do it or else
he should not have to. No, man, he should not have to go out in the streets of our own country to defend against our own people against each other over something stupid.
Exactly.
He fights to keep this country free. And we all need to do the same thing, not rioting in our country. Stop that shit. Guys, please. Against each other. We have enough bullshit. We don't need to deal with that over one single individual. You going to turn this country upside down over one single individual? No. That's dumb. It's dumb. I'm sorry, I had to say that.
Just to add on, people said Ronald Reagan was a joke because he was an actor and he had very little political experience. They didn't take him as a real politician. And then come to find out, they gave him a chance and everybody loved him and they elect him for a second term. So just give Trump a chance, because he could be the worst thing ever and we don't have to vote for him next election, or we can even impeach him. Or he could be the best thing ever and he could really make America not great again, I guess. But
America's great already.
Okay.
Don't even
not really. Not really.
Okay.
Not really.
Okay,
It's not really great.
Wait.
We have the biggest
It's
debt in the
great.
world.
Okay,
We have
wait.
people like us.
Okay, wait. Let's understand first of all what that
Okay.
actual message means. Making America great again doesn't mean anything about going back to a certain time or anything like that. What he's by saying like that is by saying, back a while back, like back in the 80s, we had businesses like GM, Chrysler, all these. I mean, we had huge corporations here, like their home offices were here. Our economy was booming. That's what he's talking about, is making America great, like bringing back the American values, to where we quit worrying so much about America as a politicians, and started worrying more about other countries, like interfering with their worlds and like with their things, saying you're not doing things like us, so we're going to interfere and make you do it, and it cost us a lot. As far as America goes. So whenever he says make America great again, he's actually referring to just focusing back on America first when it comes to making laws and stuff like that. So that's the reason why I think that the message of make America great again kind of got skewed to the point where it kind of started meaning a lot of different things. But that's what he's actually referring to, is actually just caring about America first before we take another country's problems on. If our problems here aren't fixed, there's no reason for us to go try to fix somebody else's problems.
Correct. I agree with you, Rambo. But see, that's why I'm trying to tell the people here.
Yeah.
If you have a problem with who is elected, okay, based on an electoral system, although he didn't get the popular vote, he got the electoral votes. Okay? It's the way the system's designed. He did not get the popular vote. If it was popular vote, he would have lost.
Well, yeah, it's designed that way, so that way people in New York and California don't decide the entire election, like the entire electoral process.
No. I get that. I get that. But what I'm saying is then to stop, even if you don't like him, okay? I personally don't like him, but I've done my research and I know why I don't like him. But that's not to be discussed on air. That's my personal opinion.
That's
and I'm
fair.
gonna leave that alone.
No, that's fair. I mean,
okay. But my thing is that I'm not going to go out and riot, burn the American flag. I'm not going to start fires. I'm not going to bust windows. I'm not going to do all this shit. Why are you destroying your own neighborhood or somebody else's neighborhood if you travel to do this? Why are you doing this over one man? You can unite in another way. You can do demonstrations. You can do petitions. Just walk around your neighborhood and do a coalition and walk around your neighborhoods, have petitions signed. You can call your congressman, even your mayor of your town. Contact your congressman. Go to House Representative. Go to your Senate. Go to your governor. You can do all these things. Why are you being destructive and killing your own people over one fucking man? He ain't worth it. I don't care if he's president or not.
Even though he's president, he doesn't have enough power to actually change anything on his own. So I don't know why. Like he might. I mean, even if he did come up with some crazy ass shit, like it's still got to go through a bunch of the processes. So I mean, if it ain't gonna pass through all those other processes whenever if it's a crazy ass law.
I get that, Rambo. My thing is, my concern isn't even where he is. It's where the mind of the people are that live around us and what they're doing. Please don't burn the American flag.
That flag gave you your life.
Don't burn. You know what? No, because when you burn that flag, you're not only burning my heart and the real Americans, but you're burning people's hearts like Porter Rock, who is in the service and fights for this fucking country all the time. That's wrong. These people put their lives on the line for us, so we have freedom. And you're burning that flag? You're slapping Puerto Rock in the face, and I don't agree with that. People like Puerto Rock. You're slapping him in the face. No, I don't agree with that shit. No, that's wrong. Because that man put his life on the line for years for this country. Years. And you're slapping him right in the face by burning that American flag. And rioting with amongst yourselves? For what? Burning down businesses? Why? And then when your city goes downhill, then you want government support.
Exactly.
Your asses ain't going to get it. You ain't going to get it. My only message that I brought this up tonight is that, which the people on the panel agree with me, if we can't do anything, if we could just, I know we were doing a gaming channel, but if we can get one message out to one person and they pass it on, calm down, do the proper channels, don't burn, and please don't spit in the face of our servicemen and women who have fought for this country for years. Because when you burn that flag, you're burning them. And that's wrong. I just want to hear from... now, Aaron, I don't know if Aaron's not from here, but
no.
I don't know if you have anything to say about what they did with the flag and everything, Aaron.
I just think it's terrible. I have no words for it. It's disgusting in my opinion.
Okay. And Puerto Rock, you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
What do you think? Because I just defended your ass because
I know, and I appreciate
when they burn a flag, when they burn a flag, they're burning people like you who gave them the freedom in this country. And that was my only thing. It had nothing to do with Trump itself. My thing is about people rioting, tearing down their own areas, and burning an American flag. Why would you do that? Because you served this country for a lot of years, Puerto Rock.
That is
in your face. I don't appreciate that. You're my friend. You are a countryman. You have fought for this country for a lot of years, and you're still there. You ain't done yet. You shouldn't have to fight a war inside our own country.
Especially not against our own
So
people.
what is your thought on people? What is your thoughts on people doing this dumb shit? I want to hear it from somebody who serves our country.
It's a misunderstanding of what the flag represents. A lot of people are now taking the flag to represent government, which that's not what the flag represents. It doesn't represent government because the government can change. Hell, even within our own constitution, the Constitution gives us the right that if at any point the government becomes destructive, we have the right to abolish it and start over with a brand new government. So the flag's not a representation; it's representative of an ideal that it represents us, all of us, not just me, every single one of us.
The Americans.
Yeah, and how we want this country to be. Again, we could change the way our government works. We could change politicians, but the flag is just a representation of ideals, of being free, and just trying to, because if you look at any country, countries are just rock and water, it's just land. But what makes a country great is the people and ideals behind it, and what we believe in and stuff. The flag is just a representation of that. I know some people are not happy how the election turned out, but the flag just represents that we had the ability to choose or to vote. That's what it does. It's not representing Donald Trump or any president.
No, it represents freedom.
Yes, it's just that's all it is. So
live
when
your
people burn the flag, they're not understanding. They're pretty much burning themselves in a way, and people don't realize it. Because that's just what the flag represents. It represents ideals that we believe in, and not government themselves.
But you don't realize, Puerto Rock, they're burning the people who keep our freedom here for us, like you, who serve this country.
Well, I'm part of that. I appreciate that, but I'm part of that. But you're as much as part of the flag as I am. Everybody puts in their 2 cents one way or another. But I think a lot of people forgot what that flag meant. I think people thinking that the flag represents the Democratic or the Republican Party or politicians, which is not the case.
No, I don't.
It represents each and every one of us. And I think somewhere along the line, Maybe we could blame it on the school system. Maybe, you know, kids ain't being raised by parents that are teaching them those values, but somewhere the translation is getting lost. And, you know, some people just have a misconstrued idea of what the flag represents.
Yeah.
It's just sad.
Listen,
It's really sad. It's really
it
sad that it's.
I'm going to end this podcast because we've been going on for over 2 hours now, guys.
Yeah,
And you know I don't do a
the
2-hour
chat's
podcast.
But the
It's
chat's
getting
also
crazy.
getting kind of, yeah.
Yeah, chat's
My
mature.
only thing is all I want to say before I leave. First of all, I want to thank my panel, my diverse panel, for bringing everything they brought. We're going to do outros in a minute. But I want to say, we're Americans. Let's stand up tall. Do what you got to do. Do it the right way. Don't riot. Don't riot. Because we don't need that shit here in America. We don't need it. Just love your country. Love your countrymen and women. You don't have to like your government. You can do something about that in a constructive manner. Like HP said, like everybody else said. Like Rambo said, Carl said, you know, everybody said. You don't have to, and like I said, you can do it in a constructive manner. Let's do that. Let's be true Americans, okay? At the end of the day, besides being a true American, gaming, guys. Keep it gaming. Now we're going to do outro. With our special guest, Carl. You get to go first. Tell your outros, tell them who you are and where they can find you if you want them to find you.
You can find me on Twitter. It's Sanner_Maxwell. Paul Ramble too, so you could just, I always talk to him a lot. You can see me on there. I have a Joe Pesci avatar. Because that dude's like a legend.
Okay.
But, yep, that's
And we'll go Aaron. Oh, I'm sorry. You weren't done?
No, I'm done.
Oh, Aaron.
Well, thanks for letting me on. It was great talking to this cast, and tomorrow I'm doing a podcast, and we'll be comparing the comic to the show for The Walking Dead. So, find me on YouTube and that. So yeah.
At what? At Aaron the Hunter, right?
You know, Alpha 16. Alpha 16.
All right, you got to tell them so they know where to find you. Okay. Then we got Rambo.
You can follow me on Twitter at Rambo's Corner with the 0, and my YouTube channel is also Rambo's Corner as well. Tomorrow I'm going to be uploading a video for my as far as like showing off my collection, as far as the PS4 collection I have. You can look forward to that. Other than that, just follow me on Twitter. We can talk games all you want.
Nice. HP, go for it.
You can find me on Twitter at HP North with I have a 0 at the end.
Yeah, he changed the shit, guys.
Yeah. You make sure to hit this like button and the subscribe button because I know Princess would appreciate that. So yeah.
Last but not least, we got our military man. One who honors this country just like I do. Mr. Porter Rock. Go for it.
Yeah, you know that sounds. Your boy Porter Rock 77, host of the 60 Frames No Life podcast. That I have HP North and Titanfall Princess and the pettiest gamer on YouTube all day, Video Theory. Enjoyed this podcast very much. This was an awesome podcast today, Princess. I'm glad to be part of it, and thank you so much for the kind words towards the last half of this podcast. But anyway, everybody, hey, great podcast. Hit the like button. Subscribe if you're new, because you're gonna get great content every week from the Princess. So hit that like button. Get on Twitter, talk some shit. You know what I'm saying? Just enjoy gaming. Let's go.
And now, last but not least, you got the Titanfall Princess. I'm signing out. I had a great cast once again, and I'm going to tell everybody, if you could get one person to stop doing anything against gaming and anything to hurt America, do it. Do it. If you change one person in the gaming community and in America, you're a winner. Y'all are winners then. I'm out of here. Follow everybody. They all got good content. Hit that like button. Subscribe to everybody because you're going to have some fun. You're going to get some real shit, some real live talk. I'm out of here. Love you all. I'll see you next week. Actually, I'll see you Wednesday on Porter Rock's podcast. But I'll see you Friday on mine. Later, guys.
Yeah.